After my last post, which was on accountability and responsibility, someone from my network asked me, I think it was Bhumika, she asked me, how can we use accountability and responsibility to create a direct impact on the performance of the team, which basically means on the results, achieving the goals and objectives. So, how can we make it better? How can we ensure that the team is able to achieve those goals and objectives? And how can accountability and responsibility play a role in that? So, my answer is that accountability can be a very, very strong and effective tool or an approach which can help you to increase the efficiency and the performance of your teams. And I'll explain to you how. So when it comes to responsibility, your teams are already aware of their responsibilities. They know what to do, right? The challenge is that they're not able to do that. They're not able to fulfill their responsibilities. And sometimes they are aware of it and sometimes they're not aware of it. Accountability, on the other hand, is something which helps you to rectify that. It helps you and helps your teams to uh, explore and figure out what is wrong or what is causing the performance to not happen or not getting the desired results. Now, how does that happen? Accountability is basically introspection, right? And introspection is just like exploring, it's like digging in and finding out something. So, in order to explain that in a better way, and for the benefit of Bhumika and for everyone else who might be watching this video, let me share my presentation. It's just a small slide which I want to share with all of you. And I'm going to explain to you how this works. So, accountability, how can you use it in order to increase the performance of your teams? You see, first of all, there is always a reason why your teams are not performing. Sometimes the reason are evident, sometimes you know about it, sometimes you don't know about it, sometimes your team members don't know about it. So accountability helps with the introspection, which further leads to exploring and identifying the reasons for that gap performance. It helps them to question themselves. It helps the managers to question them and basically what approach, strategy, decisions, or actions they have taken, which might have affected or helped them out and might not have helped them out. So once you start the accountability process and the questions and the interrogation, or what I like the word exploring, I like to use this word. You start to explore more into the actions, the decisions, the thought process of your team members. Accountability brings in the awareness. It brings in the clarity towards what was done, how much benefit did it give, and I'm talking about actions and I'm talking about the decisions and whatever the team members did in order to achieve their goals and objectives. So their approach towards their responsibility, it gives a more sense of clarity. So once you have clarity and once you have awareness, people acknowledge the facts, because fact is something which comes out once you do an accountability session. Whatever comes out is reality. These are the facts which comes out. So once you have that, and once the awareness and clarity comes in, people accept the fact. They become more there is an increase in ownership of the consequences. There is an increase of ownership of what has happened and what did not happen. So once that is done, the awareness and the clarity which is achieved through accountability, that leads to a more focused, more planned approach towards achieving the goals and objectives. So what your team members do is, once they have the clarity, once they have the awareness, once they have the ownership. And when I'm saying ownership, what is ownership? Ownership is more commitment. It's about taking up the responsibility and being accountable at it more in a more serious way. It's about saying that, okay, I'm going to be more committed. I'm going to be more, I'm going to be putting in more effort to achieving the goals and objectives. So they start planning better. They start improvising. They start rectifying wherever they went wrong. They start looking at the target with a more with a very different perspective, right? And they come up with better ideas. So that is how accountability helps to increase the efficiency and the performance of your teams, right? So at the end of the day, what does every organization want? What does every team member, team HOD want, or the team lead wants? It wants its people to perform better, yeah, get in more results. But that can only happen once they're absolutely aware of the situation. What happens is sometimes we build a self narrative. Once we start blaming things on in professional environment, corporate competition, resources, and everything, the last thing we do is introspection. The last thing we forget is to understand that there might be something lacking from our end, which basically has acted as a barrier to achieving our goals and objectives, which again is a part of the responsibility which we have. So this was my answer to you, Bhumika. I hope it helps and everyone else who's watching this particular video. If all of you want me to also make another post and a video on how is the accountability process used and what are the categories under which you can put in your questions and divide your accountability process so that you get better results of the whole session, once you do it with your team members, then please let me know in the comments and I would make another video and another post for that. So thank you very much and take care.